you a little brief about him. I know him since I think it's been more than a decade, 2 decades. So he is a business leader, he's a thoughtful author, and someone who blends the spiritual wisdom with his practical, grounded insight. And his recent achievement is about the book that he has written, Born to Be Happy, which is available on Amazon. And his understandings of karma, responsibility, and conscious living is refreshing, sharp, and very real. So, Dr. Sagar Kulkarni, welcome. And I'm so happy you are here with us. Let me get him to the pin as well. Okay. So, welcome, Sagar, to our session today here. And I'm really excited to start off this conversation. So let's begin by shaking the foundation a little gently. So let me ask you, are we using meditation as a spiritual painkiller, or is it more like calming the mind but not changing the behavior? So, what's your perspective on this, Sagar?
First of all, thank you, Poonam, for inviting me for this podcast and giving my introduction. Hello, everyone. You already know through the introduction. So, going straight to your question, Poonam, you rightly said meditation is basically required for calming the mind. It is actually a kind of painkiller. I feel it's over a period of time, it has become a fashion to suggest meditation for everything. Even for
Mhm.
the stress management, if you go to the doctor, they suggest you meditation karo. But they don't try to find out like why the stress is there and how do you actually get rid of that stress by your acts. I personally feel meditation is just a self-talk where
Mhm.
you sit in silence and try to reflect on what you have been doing, what you have been going through, and the next level of meditation can go as a tranquilizer. We all know what tranquilizers work, so meditation works as a tranquilizer for the mind, but definitely it doesn't change the karma. It may help us to stabilize our mind, to decide what is the next relevant karma for you. Meditation also do not change the effect of karma, neither in I think physical world nor in the mental world. It may help you to stabilize, create acceptance, analyze the
Mhm.
effect, and take the next action. But next action again need not to be a complete behavioral change. It all depends on you really wish to change your behavior. We know examples from our mythological characters. Ravana was a very intense meditator. He was worshipping Lord Shiva for several years, and then he was blessed with something. But still, the kind of behavior he has reflected. So that's a clear, I think, example where you can clearly say that meditation will not change your behavior. Your behavior can be changed by your karma, and for that, you have to decide whether you really want to change your behavior. Meditation can create only a ground. It can cleans up things to give you a space to think what way you really want to take it. So my takeaway from this is meditation may help you to create a ground to change the karma, but it does not guarantee that it will change your karma. It is up to you how you take it.
Hmm. A very powerful statement that yes, meditation can be a ground to help cleanse things, but it may not really work on changing your karma aspects. Now, let me ask you this part because we've been talking about karma, and many times people might have different perceptions and aspects of karma. So, in brief, if you can just explain or if you can share your view, what do you think karma is actually?
I think karma, we know more or less, whoever might have read Bhagavad Gita, where it talks largely about karma yoga. So karma yoga is basically, if you just call it as a karma or you call it as a karma yoga, it is uh, It is an act that you need to do for your day-to-day living in a framework. And I think without karma yoga or without karma, even your bhakti yoga or other yogas are also not possible, because when you do bhakti, you actually do a karma. You do bhakti through a karma. You cannot do bhakti in isolation without karma. So any yoga you try to do, you do a Sankhya yoga. So Sankhya yoga also, again you have to take it through karma yoga. So for all the yogas, karma is base to do, keep doing. That is how I look at karma.
Wow, powerful. So karma is all about doing to keep doing. And if karma is all about action driven, then let me ask you this: why do we expect silence, chanting, or stillness to fix the consequences created by our choices?
This is basically, I think, we have been brainwashed since our childhood, and for I don't know hundreds of years, that our religion, our society, that only silence, chanting can fix the consequences of the choices. But I personally feel neither of these can fix the consequences.
Mhm.
Silence, chanting, or stillness will stabilize your mind if you're not able to otherwise. I'm using word otherwise because there are other way of also to silence your mind or consequences. One of them is, I call it as a mind training. The
Mhm.
consequences, choices will be fixed by next choices. The next choices is again the next karma. And the choices also can be selected through karma. We have been trained, brainwashed that mental stability comes only by silence, chanting, stillness, but it is not true. Have you seen any soldier? You just imagine a war front.
Mhm.
He's fighting with the enemy. He has done some act, and there is a consequence of that act. Whether the soldier will sit in peace, meditate, and then decide his next line of action, I think by that time he will be blown off. So you have to keep doing your karma. Silence is not going to help you to fix the consequences. That's what I firmly believe. And for that matter, you can take many other examples. You are
Mhm.
into some trouble, you are into some problems. I've been meeting some, I would say, professionals in their career coaching, and they've been going through a lot of issues in their career. So and they also follow the path of meditation heavily. They also follow the path of sitting in silence, chanting. But things are not working. The only thing when it will work is if they act. They take some actions to change the scenario. That is the only time it's going to change it. Otherwise, the consequences are not going to change.
Hmm. It's really very powerful because we are finally hearing something very openly out here. And I also just want to remind our listeners that if you have any questions or if you would like to ask something, please go ahead and put it into the comments and to the chat of what you feel like. And if you agree to what Sagar has said, just go ahead and type, yes, Sagar, let's show some interactions to him saying that yes, what he's saying we can resonate with. And okay, even if you're not able to resonate, you can go ahead and openly put into the comments saying like, oh, probably you don't agree to it also. So make sure
Don't,
that you
don't,
are kind
don't
of
sit
going.
with silence, but do your karma.
Hmm. Yes, that's a very powerful. Be in silence, but do your karma. Put in some comments, share some, share some views and thoughts as well out here, which is really very important. And I agree to you because many times people have been thinking about what I have personally felt is that there are very few people who would take that responsibility. Yes, they would meditate, calm their mind, and then take an action. There are most of the people who would want to kind of, yeah, they do the meditations, they do the chantings, but at the same time, it's for them. What I felt during my sessions is that they are kind of uh, we say that passing on the monkey, right? So they're passing on their part of the things, saying that, okay, now if I'm doing the chantings and if I'm being doing meditations, there is somebody else who is going to take care of me. But it's always been said you are being taken care of only if you take the actions. तो आपका भी ध्यान कोई तब रखेगा जब आप खुद की मदद करेंगे तो भगवान भी उन्हीं की मदद करते हैं जो खुद की मदद करते हैं, राइट? सो दैट्स द वेरी पावरफुल एस्पेक्ट दैट आई capture from this part of the thing that you have mentioned, Sagar. And thank you for bringing that openly out here, because taking actions consistently for whatever you're doing is very, very important. Now, this brings me to another aspect and angle, Sagar, which is that many times people blame their past life karma, and which I think is to avoid maybe sometimes accountability for the patterns that they have been repeating today. What is your view on this?
Can you repeat the question?
The question is that many times people blame their past life karma.
Hold on,
And
hold on. Your question itself has an answer. People blame. So it's
yes.
blame game. There is no reality behind it. Scientifically, I think universally we all have accepted that there is no evidence of past life and future life. These are just concepts, and past life regression and all that is just a psychological game which is being played with the people in the market to, I would straight away say, mint the money. So
Mm.
I feel the past life karma and all is just to avoid the accountability of patterns they are repeating today. It's not reality. The pattern you see today,
Mhm.
the consequences you are facing today is a reflection of karma you did yesterday. I think it's quite obvious. Either you did it or somebody else in your network has done it. And the consequences which you will see tomorrow will be out of the karma that you will do today. And that there is no link between your past life, what you have done, who you were, and what relations you had with someone, and because of it, someone is troubling you today. And this, I don't want to use that word, but it's just kind of, I would say, mythology, or it's a myth.
Mhm.
Many times you face consequences of others' karmas also, because I get a lot of cases where अरे मैंने तो कुछ नहीं किया, मैंने सब कुछ ठीक किया, फिर भी मेरे साथ ये क्यों हुआ? To
Huh.
take a simple example, you're walking on the road and some vehicle comes and bangs you, and something bad happens with you. You lose your leg or you get severely injured. So we all are basically placed into a network, and we are part of that network. So many times, though we don't do anything, it is somebody else karma makes us to suffer, or it
Hmm.
gives us pain. And but that is something to do with your today's life. It has nothing to do with past or future. So answering your question, which is again where your question has the answer, it's just a blame game of past life. It is just the pattern of your karmas where you are facing all the consequences.
Great. Thanks for sharing that, Sagar. And thanks, Rahul, for your appreciation. Thanks, Gayatri. And we have a question from Sachin here online. He says, how about the trust factor?
I don't get the question.
So the question is that whatever we have been talking about in terms of karma and the consequences, I think the question is about what is the trust factor in this aspect of our karma when we're talking about consequences, when we're talking about actions, and also about other people. That's how I understand. And
The
Sachin, if you're online, you can put in a little bit more details around it. But yes.
I think only trust you can put in the whole game is put trust in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment you put trust in yourself and you believe in yourself, rest all is taken care. Okay, sometimes you, as a being part of network of a human network, you might face consequences of others' karma. But if you
Mm-hmm.
have trust within yourself, you can still get out of it. It's a matter of time.
Mm. So the most important
I
message
believe
is
the trust
trust in
factor
yourself.
comes from that side. I really don't know what trust means in this question.
Yeah, and I have asked Sachin to add in more if he's still listening to us. But then at least I think the key point that you've brought in is trust in yourself, believe in yourself is very, very important. Keep doing your part of the actions, which is the karma, and it is going to help you definitely. Yes, sometimes you might be impacted by the karmas or acts of others, but believing in yourself can help you get out of it sooner.
Who else is otherwise going to do something for you? There is nobody. There's
Mm,
nobody sitting in the sky and listening to your demands and preparing daily notes that what you want and when should I deliver it. There is nothing like that. It's only you who will
mhm,
decide what you want for yourself and you will execute it. So unless you don't have trust in yourself, I think nothing is possible.
mm. That's true. Thanks for sharing that, Sagar. And one of the other things which has been observed is, and which has been asked, is that sometimes there are people who are spiritually awakened, okay, or they may be also somebody who read a lot of this spiritual aspects, or maybe a lot on meditation, but they're still struggling with their finances or relationship loop. So, what do you have to say in terms of their karma or aspects out here? Why they're stuck in that same loop of pain and struggles again and again?
So it's altogether suffering. Like you are spiritually awakened, but
Hmm.
are still suffering. So
Yes.
you're trying to see what is the correlation between two things. So I think what is spiritually awakened is generally misunderstood. It is
Hmm.
misunderstood because of all these babas around us in the market,
Hmm.
where they try to create an image of God man because they are spiritually awakened. It's not a magical personality. I think the spirituality by itself is not a very relevant word. You know, like when you come to Indian context, we call it as a adhyatma.
Hmm.
Spirituality is called as adhyatma. So adhyatma is nothing but adhik atma. So adhik atma is knowing more about yourself. That is spirituality. So there is no magic behind it. It is the more you know about yourself, you are more awakened. So spirituality awakened means to know yourself, fully aware of self. It's a journey. I think you can call it from ego to essence. And many people forget that this is the journey through which the awakened people have gone.
Hmm.
Now you take example of I take examples in Indian context only so that it's easy for people to understand. Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, then Raman Maharshi,
Hmm.
sent. They all were spiritually awakened, or we at least believe that they were spiritually awakened. But if
Yep.
you go to the history and find out, they had their own sufferings. So like Swami Vivekananda was suffering from around 39 illnesses. Raman Maharshi was suffering from cancer. So though they were spiritually awakened in their materialistic life, they had no other way but to go through their pain journey. They could not avoid that pain journey.
Hmm.
So there was no excuse for them to suffer in materialistic life at a body level. And I think, all these saints viewed illness not as a curse. Nobody has taken it as a curse. If you read their books, if you read
Hmm.
their thoughts, so they took it as an opportunity for detachment, surrender, deepening the spiritual awareness. Their lives shows that awakening often coexist along with the suffering,
Hmm.
transforming pain into path of liberation. But in today's world, the happiness business industry, I honestly call it as happiness business industry, where people spend a lot of money, time just to get the happiness. What is being taught to you, which is wrong, most of the institutions that once you are spiritually awakened,
Hmm.
you are pain free, and that's not true. If the people who are joining and you see this all these institutes, when you start going into the depth of their courses, meditation and everything, at one point of time they come and tell you your happiness is within, it is
Hmm.
inside. Your happiness should not depend on the external world.
That's
Now,
true.
if you know this from the beginning, I don't think anybody will go to this happiness industry. It will just vanish. But they tell you at the end of it that happiness is within. You don't need to get disturbed with the things around you. So
Hmm.
that is how I think it works. That the being awakened and not suffering or suffering in materialistic world, I don't think they have any relation. They coexist. So it could be there, it could not be there. So
Mhm.
your pains, your suffering, your problems could be part of your karma, your network's karma, your surroundings, but has nothing to do with your state of being awakened. So they coexist and they are completely different. That's what I believe.
Wow, that's such a powerful thing because, yes, many times people feel that if they're moving onto the spiritual path or if they're moving into this direction, they may not have sufferings and they may not really be having any issues or concerns. But as you've really said, these are coexist and probably they might be just a part of your karma or actions that you have been there. And thank you, Sarita. She's saying, love the way you present your ideas. And Chaitanya is like learning so much today. Thank you. Thanks for all this. Set of love and comments that you're sharing with us. And I just wanted to kind of say that, Dr. Sagar, when we are listening to you, actually, now it reminds me of why people experience such breakthroughs during the sessions or workshops. And uh, the idea is it's not just stopping at awareness, but it is also about getting into embodied actions so that people just don't feel good, but they begin to live differently. And that's where the karma truly shifts. And that's what we are doing at our energy reset, where we are not just talking about, but we are getting into actual karma, actual actions to bring your awareness not just to at an awareness level, but moving into an action oriented aspect. So, from that perspective, Sagar, I just also had this question that yoga has now become fitness. Meditation has become an escape that we are talking about many times. What do you think? Where did we lose this karma yoga, the yoga of responsibility?
What is yoga basically? Like the way you understand yoga? I think through which whatever I have learned so far, it's a union of mind and body.
Yeah.
That is called yoga, yoga. Two things coming together. So anything you do with the complete union of mind and body, I think it becomes yoga.
Right.
Similarly, meditation is nothing but detaching from thoughts, turning attention inside, finally becoming thoughtless or timeless. So you
Mhm.
are again doing a yoga of your body and mind inside you. So that's what the yoga and meditation is all about. We can achieve same state by focusing 100% in whatever you do, your karma, any karma.
Mhm.
Many times we have examples like you're traveling to some place. Let's say you're in Switzerland, or you're watching a very intense movie, or let's say in our case when we work on our business plans. So we get so much immersed into that, like our mind and body has a
Mhm.
complete union towards that particular activity. हम बोलते हैं कि अरे टाइम का पता ही नहीं चला, because it's a union of mind and body, so it becomes
Right.
a timeless journey. So it's a union. That union means you're actually meditating. You don't need to sit calmly in the corner by lighting a lamp and agarbatti and all that. Whatever
Mhm.
you do, you try to do with 100% dedication. It becomes yoga. I always give this example for my friends that whenever I'm in the gym, I don't go to the gyms, professional gyms. I have a gym at home. Whenever I do a gym, I even don't turn on the music. It's a yoga between my mind and body. I keep doing exercises to
Mhm.
that. And that 1.5 hour, I'm completely out of the world. I do not know what's happening outside. My phone doesn't ring. There is no music. It's just a union of mind and body, just to
Mhm.
improve your mind and just to improve your body. So I think that is what the karma yoga is all about. That's what I feel.
Great. And a very powerful aspect because when you're aligned with your mind, your body, your thoughts, your words, your actions, that's where you will be able to go ahead and get into your karma aspect. And while you're doing all of those things to get to the baseline, the consistency in all of this with action is very important. And it just reminds me because I had someone who said that. When the food has been kept, what can be done? You can keep the food, but then the person, you can also feed the person, take it to their mouth, maybe just dump into their mouth as well. But if the person is awakened or is awake, they have to still chew the food. So that part of the activity still has to be done by them, unless you are kind of hospitalized and you're just onto the bed where a saline has been there, but still your body has to do that action, that performance to accept it and move into those things. So it's a part of the nature that taking action, doing your activities has to be done by you, and others will be there to probably support you, but it's the you who has to definitely take that decision, make that choice to take the action, whatever you're going to do. So thanks a lot for sharing this aspects,
One
Sagar.
more thing I want to add here,
Yeah.
that in today's world, the karmic yoga or the karma yoga is miserably missing. Like
Hmm.
nobody wants to focus on anything. They just scroll their experiences and their life like Instagram reels. They just want next, next, next. So you're absolutely missing karmic yoga. So if you focus on karmic yoga, you're actually achieving meditation, you're actually achieving silence, you're actually achieving yoga.
Hmm.
Just by turning your body here and there, it's not yoga.
Very, very interesting. That's true. And we have some comments here. Meenal Kulkarni is like, completely agree with this. And then we have Akshay who's saying, is there a connection between the subconscious mind and karma, or does the subconscious impression manifest karma? A very powerful question, Akshay. So, what's your view on this, Sagar?
Of course, it does. Of course, it does. Because whatever is there at your subconscious mind, ultimately it comes to conscious mind, and ultimately it comes to your action.
Mm-hmm.
Because subconscious and conscious always have a connections. There might be filters, there might be some missing links at some point of time, but
Mm-hmm.
otherwise conscious mind and subconscious minds are connected, and conscious mind and karma is connected. So definitely that A is equal to B and B is equal to C, so A is ultimately equal to C.
Very powerful. And thanks, Akshay, for asking that, because this is very important. It's just like I just say it's just like the way you wake up in the morning, get up and do your routines, start brushing and all, and then taking a bath and moving out, because that's how you have trained your subconscious to make sure. And of course, there might be some of them who would want to skip this because you have trained your mind in a very different way to live. So the way you train your mind is dependent on the actions that you are taking. And thanks, Sagar, for sharing that. Now, one of the other questions is that if someone is stuck in these repeating cycles, like same arguments, same losses, and same heartbreak, I know many of them would be here. What real actions must they take to break this karmic loop?
To break the karmic loop. I think I won't answer this question spiritually or
Mhm.
in the context which is expected here, but I would actually answer it in our automotive way, that we
Okay.
some disciplines we follow. So we always have one process to follow whenever there are problems in manufacturing, and that is called 8 disciplines. And I believe those 8 disciplines, or 8D we call it, it has come from the real life to the manufacturing world. But then the manufacturing world is religiously following it, but the real life people have forgotten it. So I don't think the manufacturing has invented it. They got it from the real life. It is coming from the past. So what are these disciplines? So you have a problem, you have same losses, then same heartbreaks. You are suffering with something repeatedly. So first thing I think we all should try to do is, which is the first part of 8 disciplines or 8D, is just team up. You have to team up. So you are surrounded by your family, your friends, the network in which you are operating,
So there's a break from your side. You might just want to check again.
there is nothing to make a team. Not, I'm not inventing anything. Find the problem. We generally miss the definition of the problem. I've seen real life examples where people talk a lot about consequences they are facing, but when you ask them to define the problem, they are not able to define the problem.
Mhm.
And that is where, like, we always say that 50% of a problem properly defined is 50% solved, because you know where you are and what it is. Third thing is, again, it's implementing containment action. So what is containment action? Containment action is, you are facing some long term issues, long term problems, and your solution is also going to take time to actually give you the benefits out of it. But you need to put some solution in place which can give you immediate relief. It may not be
Mhm.
a complete relief, but it may give you immediate some relief. Either it could be acceptance or it is could be some bypass, but you have to put some containment actions into it. The fourth step, which is the most important, and this is important in our personal life also, is
Mhm.
the root cause analysis. And the root cause analysis we generally do through a very simple mechanism. We call it as a why analysis. And my personal experience in both personal and professional life is, people either avoid doing this or they tend to do it in the wrong way,
Mhm.
because when you keep doing why, at the end of last why, there are some unpleasant root causes which you are not willing to face. So you don't want to go there. You
Mhm.
prefer to stop maybe on second or third why and blame something else which is not actually the cause for your pain or your problem or your suffering. So this why analysis is, I think, the most important thing which we all have to learn by heart every day. Everything you're suffering from, just try to do a simple why analysis. There is no template, there is no format, there is no science behind it. You have to just keep asking the why till you go to the last why. The next step could be, again, like, you put a containment action, some temporary solutions, but the next step is decide the long term actions. You have to be a little firm on certain things and decide, like, to solve this problem permanently. This is my final and long term action. So you have to decide that.
Mhm.
The next point could be, the sixth discipline is, implement those corrective actions in your life. We have patterns in your life, like somebody's repeatedly, let's say, failing into their appraisals, and
Mhm.
they don't know, they try to do everything, but the blame always goes on the manager, the blame always goes on the management. But when you actually do a why, you realize that it's who has to actually do something. So I have to implement those corrective actions in my performance, or in even relationship. If I'm fighting with someone every day, so I have to implement those corrective actions. The last thing could be, prevent the recurrence. So prevent the recurrence is, it's a very core disciplinary part, where
Mhm.
whatever you have analyzed, whatever you have understood, that what is the root cause, whatever action you have put, you have to really put it in a discipline that every day, every hour, every event, next time it's happening, you
Mhm.
have to actually follow it religiously. There is no escape out of it. So this discipline is very important. And the last step, which is generally not very important that people feel, but after doing all this, you finally feel that, yes, I'm out of it. So you should congratulate yourself, or you should congratulate the people who have supported to come out of all this. So these are called eight disciplines. And though they look quite technical for the manufacturing industry, I think they are more relevant to personal life also.
Yeah, and it's a very powerful thing because while you were talking also, and I'm just visualizing, if I pick up a day-to-day life kind of an example, and I think everybody uses here washing machine, right? So, for example, if what Sagar has said, and if I have to just summarize it quickly, if your washing machine suddenly stops working, the first D that you're going to do is your team, where you're going to call up your spouse or people at home and ask them like, what's wrong? What's wrong with it? Let's solve it. And that's where the second step comes in terms of description, where you describe what is really going on. Why did the machine stop? So maybe somebody says, you know what, I heard some sound. There were some clothes which were still remaining wet, and they're not drying. Probably that's a problem description. And then when we talk about the third step, which is the containment action, what I think is that you probably decide, which is like a temporary action, to say that, okay, let's stop using the washing machine to avoid any more damage to the machine, to the electronic, other electronic items, and maybe to the human as well. And then you get into the fourth step for doing a root causal analysis. You check the power, you check the pipe, and maybe somebody checks the filter and finds out that there's so many coins, hidden coins in the washing machine that you
That's
find out. Probably that can help you to understand that's the cause of my machine not working. Then you get into the five step where you go ahead and get into permanent corrective action where you probably clean the filter, take all that coins and put it into your piggy bank. And then you go ahead with the sixth step for implementing and validating. So you now go ahead, switch on the washing machine, and you see, wow, it's working right now. But what do you do to prevent the recurrence, right? Next time you tell, you know, before putting anything in the washing machine, please check the pockets, clean the pockets, and
yeah.
then put it into the washing machine. So you're preventing that recurrence. And once you have solved it, you congratulate, you have a chai party and say that, wow, finally, washing machine issue has been solved. Let's celebrate. And I think that's the most important thing where the congratulations, appreciating, and celebration is what we really miss. And I just thought that's a problem just came in because that's something which I'm really facing recently. I faced it and I thought I'll connect those things. So thanks, Sagar, because I think this 8D8 is kind of very, very powerful for this. And there is a question here or a comment, I would say, from its Cloud Hub. They say that it's correct what we're talking about. Immediate relief is very important if it's going to take a long time to come out of the worst situation. So, any reflection on this, Sagar?
Yeah, of course. I think immediate relief is very important. It's basically, I think, I take a very simple example of relationships that if something is not working with someone and you understand that you have completely different personalities and that's the reason it's not working. So
Mhm.
the only way is a long-term action where you actually work upon it to one way or other way somebody has to change or there could be some solution in long term, but if you need immediate relief into that, at least you can put certain no-nos that these are the areas where we will not go because we know that the moment we are in this area there is a fight or there is a misunderstanding. So you have an immediate relief that at least I stop day-to-day confrontation or we stop day-to-day confrontation and we stop those day-to-day fights. We have not solved the problem yet because we still fear that at some point of time we are again going to fight with each other. But this immediate content and action is must before you have a long-term solution.
That's really important. So, I think that breakthrough to get a breakthrough, you need that interim actions to be there. So that's so nice, Sagar, because whatever we have been speaking today, it's kind of a reminder where the real healing begins when we stop escaping ourselves. You know what? Meditation gives awareness, but what is going to give you the evolution is your action. And let me tell you, because while we're talking, just somebody just messaged me, just and very important, they just said that you know what, even to meditate you have to take an action, you have to take an action to sit, you have to close your eyes and make sure that your mind is not wandering here and there. So what are you actually doing even in meditation? You are taking action. So taking action is very, very important. So, and anyone listening right now, if your soul has a calling for a shift, maybe this is just your sign, because it's not to meditate harder, but it is to make one brave, aligned choice, which is different than what you have been doing yesterday. And that's really very important for you to go back and get this. So, Sagar, before we kind of wrap up this session, I would like to know what is that, like, there are two aspects. One, what is that message that you would want people to uh, go back with, a takeaway? And then how can people reach out to you?
I'm not someone who can actually give some message to everyone in this forum. I was just sharing
Mhm.
my thoughts, but if at all I have to give a message, my only message is just firmly believe in yourself and your karma. Do not run here and there for your happiness because at the end of day, we do everything for the mental happiness. If you're
Mhm.
in the meditation, if you're not happy, you won't do it. If you're not happy sitting silent, you won't do it. If you're not happy earning money, you won't earn it. So everything what we do is we do it for happiness, but that happiness is in your hands. It's your karma. That's also my book talks about that. For happiness, don't jump into this happiness industry and spend your time and money there. Believe in yourself, you can do it. You know, your subconscious mind, conscious mind, whatever you call, it keeps
Mhm.
telling you what is right for you and what can keep you happy. Just follow that, and things will be all right. And of course, you can reach me on my Insta handle, Cool Talks, or my Gmail address, Sagar Kulkarni. It is COOLKRNI@gmail.com. And my phone number is 9822615233. So anywhere you can reach me.
Great. Thanks. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Sagar. And thank you to everyone who stayed with us in this conversation. Remember, this one thing which I want you all to do is you don't change your karma feeling differently, but you can change it by acting differently. So, if today's conversation has resonated with you, then go ahead, share this recording, which is available on the YouTube, with someone you feel needs it. And with so much love, let's take that one courageous action this week so your future self will say thank you and welcome. So, thank you everybody for staying here. And thanks, Sagar, for being with us here on this podcast. Everybody will connect back again next week. So, until then, take care and have a good rest of the day. Thank you.
Bye bye.